Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. So today I have a video for you showcasing the staff and bow, my PvE and PvP skills. And I'll also show you the weapon masteries as well, because I've had a lot of people asking what is the rotation, what are you using and how are you using the rotation in PvE. I will also, like I said, show you the PvP setup as well. But to be honest, I don't really use a set rotation for PvP, because that is kind of situational. You know, I might need to do something completely different just based on what's happening. You know, if we're in a big Zerg fight, I can't just rely on some specific rotation. Whereas for PvE, I can do a rotation, and I do one. You know, 9 times out of 10 I'll stick to the exact same rotation. But I'll show you guys and girls what I do, and then it's up to you. Just remember, this is what I do, this is what I recommend, but feel free to take this, look at it, use it, try it out for yourself. And then if you want to tweak it and change a few little things here and there, by all means go ahead and do that. But anyway, let's get right into the video. Right, so here we are. I'm going to show you what skills first of all that I use. This is for my PvE setup. So you can see here we've got Fireball and then Inferno Wave, and then we have both of the lightnings. We have the Chain Lightning, we have Judgment Lightning, which is your big damage skill. I have Ice Spear Bombardment, then we have Inner Peace for some mana regen, then we have Deadly Marker. This is a must, guys. Like I said in the intro, you can take what you want from what I'm showing you, and you can obviously tweak it for your own, leisure. But if you're not using Deadly, if you're a bow user and you're not using Deadly Marker in PvE in a dungeon, you're kind of just trolling the team. So this is mandatory. But yeah, let's move on. And then I've got Zephyr's Knock, Strafing, Fireball Barrage, Nature's Blessing, and then High Focus. And these are the passives that I'm using for PvE. We have the Manifold Eruption. The reason why I do this is because I hold, for PvE, I'm holding the staff in my main hand, and this gives me extra damage. Basically, you're firing bombs or projectiles, it has a chance to fire additional. So it's just free damage basically. So that's why I use it. Then we're using Mana Amp. It's self-explanatory, gives us more mana and maximum health. Then Flame Condensation, because it increases our burning damage, and a lot of our damage is coming from adding basically burning ticks onto the enemy. Then we have Forbidden Sanctuary. This increases our skill damage. And then I'm using Rapid Fire Stance, because it increases our attack speed if we stand still, and also our hit goes up as well. Then I'm using Steady Aim, because again, it increases magic, melee, and range critical hit chances if there's an enemy that is, bound or shackled, as they say. And then Distorted Sanctuary. The reason for that is it increases my melee, my range, and magic endurance by 33, and my health recovery as well, per party member. So within a 60-meter radius. So I'm basically you're helping the whole team by using this. And then what I also use is Sniper's Sense, because it basically increases my critical hit again, but by per 1 meter. So again, it's just more damage and stuff to help the team basically, which is what you're going to want for PvE. Now, if I'm going to show you the skill specialization, we go ahead. So for the staff, for my Fireball, I'm going to explain here. Sometimes I do use the charge Fireball attack. It just depends. So it's up to you. But recently I've been trying to just attack with a lot more speed. And of course, this is a charged skill. So I've basically removed pretty much all my charge skills from my hotbar for now. But don't get me wrong, this does a lot of damage. So it just depends. Just play around with it, have a feel what you think, and decide from there. But like I said, sometimes I do go back to it. So we're using mobility because it's so much better to be able to move. Projectile speed for increased speed. Instant casting, self-explanatory, and then radius, range damage. We're increasing the range of the damage. And then for Inferno Wave, getting the cooldown faster, and then adding more burning stacks, that basically giving that more ticking damage. That's what we want, just more damage as a DPS. Now, chain lightning, damage transfer. The reason why you want to use this is because if you're using it on an enemy that is not affected by wet or frost, it still transfers the damage. Whereas if you don't use this, they need to be, affected by rain, like by the water or by a frost skill, and then no damage transfer. The chain lightning damage is not mitigated upon transfer. So when it basically goes to more than one enemy, you're not losing any damage. Fireball barrage. This is a nice one that just basically pumps out fireballs, which you'll see when I show you. This is self-explanatory. I'm adding more burning, more fireballs, so more damage, and then cooldowns to keep the skills pumping, keep the damage rolling. And then ice spear bombardment. Basically, I'm changing the ice spear to bombardment. So instead of just like one spear, it fires out multiple. So you can see it fires out 8 ice spears, does a lot of damage. And then I've done a damage increase, self-explanatory again, gives us more damage by 40%. You just want pure damage as a DPS. Now, Judgment Lightning, again, it's exactly the same as Chain Lightning. We're using damage transfer and damage transfer on this one as well. And then sometimes for bosses in dungeons, I do use Meteor and I change it to the Hellfire Rain. But again, it's a casting skill, so it just depends on what mood I'm in. So it's up to you again. Have a play around with it and see how you feel, make your mind up. Now for the bow, for Sephir's Knock, damage increase, straightforward. Strafing, I'm using Gale. It applies the Gale effect to a target. So on hit, applies Gale for 6 seconds and it explodes on 10th stack, inflicting damage. And that's also in a 3 meter radius. And then I've got consecutive use because obviously it gives me another charge. And then on Deadly Marker, I'm using Bullseye because, as you can see here, it applies an additional marker against a target which already has Deadly Marker. So if there's more than one bow in your party, you can use this and it will stack. And then we're using Hit because party members who attack targets with Deadly Marker gain an additional hit chance by 150. Now you might be wondering why I said earlier that this, in my opinion, is mandatory if you're playing in a dungeon with a party, and this is the reason why. Because you shoot an arrow that has a 90% chance to mark the target for 9 seconds, and during those 9 seconds, if you attack, so when everybody attacks that marked target, it increases your magic, melee, and range critical hit by 170, and it also increases your magic, melee, and ranged hit by 170 for everybody in the party. And then each critical hit decreases all skill cooldowns by 1%, again for the whole party. So not just yourself, it's everybody. So it's a party buff basically. So yeah, and it stacks up to 100 times. So you're literally trolling, in my opinion, in a dungeon if you have a bow and you don't use Deadly Marker. So when I'm saying to you that you can, have a play around and use what you think's best if you don't like some of the stuff, this is just make sure you use this. If you want to change anything else, go ahead, but just do not change this. So that if we go back to the weapon skills, I will show you the weapon mastery. So for staff, I'm using the bottom line, and then we'll be going up to here. So basically the bottom line and then halfway, because we want to get the skill boost chance and also more magic damage. So you can see here, these points here give you good stuff. So we have the first point gives me more burning damage. This one gives me more burning chance. And then this one gives me more magic damage. And then we go up to here, we get more critical damage. And then here, skill boost by 40. And then obviously you've got, base damage, magic hit and stuff like that. But you want to basically get to these pillar points. And then for the longbow, again, I'm doing the whole bottom row here, and then I'll do halfway. I think when you get to weapon mastery level 16, from my memory, we should be able to be halfway. The pillar points here are max damage goes up, critical skill boost chance, sorry, goes up. Critical damage on this one goes up. Then we have bind chance, 75. Cooldown speed, 4%. And then we can't quite make it to the end, obviously. And then along the way, as you can see here, you get more ranged hit, movement speed, max mana, more hit, more crit. So it's just pure damage basically, and attack speed, more critical hit chance. So that is the weapon mastery for the staff and the longbow. That is the skills. Now I'll quickly show you the PvP skills that I use. Everything is pretty much the same, apart from I change this to, I'll just take this off. I change high focus to victorious energy, and the reason for that is, as you can see here, you get more magic, melee and range hit goes up, and your evasion also goes up for 12 seconds, which is obviously huge in PvP. And then is there anything else that I've changed? For, yes, I use the Icebound Tomb to basically lock people in place. It doesn't freeze them. Well, it freezes them, but it doesn't stop you from attacking them. So if you take off Icy Mire, it will just completely freeze the enemy, and they can't attack you, but you also can't attack them. So this is why I take Icy Mire, because it freezes them in place, but you can also still attack them. So that's why I like to use that one. Anything else that I've changed here? No, nothing else is changed for the staff. Now for the bow, I use Tornado. This is huge. This is basically you change Vortex into Tornado. Huge CC, does knocks everybody in the air that it hits. It's very, very annoying to get hit by this. So yeah, big must for PvP. And then we use Flash Wave. Again, massive AoE damage. It also does, it also heals your teammates, does a lot of damage to the enemy. So we obviously make the range wider. Then we take Blind, because this decreases the enemy's hit chance by 300 for 6 seconds. So again, very, 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 very important in PvP. And then I'm using Blitz, because Blitz resets the cooldown. So in PvP, the only thing, like I said, there isn't like a set rotation that I use, apart from you always want to do Tornado. I do Tornado, so we try to time the tornadoes together, and then we do Flash Wave, and then I will Blitz to basically get another Flash Wave, and then I'll get another Flash Wave out as well. So immediately get another Flash Wave. Big damage, very, very important, very, very useful. So let's swap this back to PvE. Oh, and lastly, I'll just show you again. I have showed this in another video, but I'll show you in this video as well. Skills for stat points, sorry, for my PvE are as follows at the moment. Again, I do have a build page which you can check you can check all this there as well. But this is what my stats are looking like currently with the gear that I have right now. And then for PvP, it changes by I put my wisdom down, and then I put my perception higher up for obviously PvP. Now let's go to the rotations before I end the video. So I'll show you what I do. So for PvE, what I start off with is high focus, because you can see here, increases the cooldown speed for all skills and also gives me movement speed. So what I want to do is I'll cast high focus into Deadly Marker, then I will cast my Fireball Barrage, and then I will follow it by Fire Bombs into Inferno Wave, into my lightning skills, into my Ice Bombardment. Then I'll finish off with my Zephyr's Knock into Strafing, and then I'll do it again. So let's do a quick one here. So I messed that up a little bit there, because I didn't cast all 3 fireballs. So I'll show you one more time when these skills cool down. And one thing I will mention, when you're running low on mana, you will use Nature's Blessing first, and then immediately after you'll use Inner Peace, because that's where you'll get your mana back rapidly fast. So I don't need to do it, but I'll show you. So we'll do Nature's Blessing, and then you immediately do Inner Peace. So your mana bar will just, go up really, really quickly. So yeah, And then once this has come off cooldown, I'll show you one more time because I messed up the fireball. I messed up the fireball there, but it is what it is. You get the gist. So high focus, deadly marker, fireball barrage, fireball, more fire, lightning, and then into ice spear bombardment, and then I finish off with the 2 bow skills. So I'll show you, here we go. So high focus, and there you go. And then obviously I'll just carry on pumping. You just carry on bursting the damage. So you might not be able to do it in that exact rotation every time, because obviously it just depends how fast you're pumping it out. But that is the rotation that I try to stick to, like I said, 9 times out of 10. And you just burst the damage. But yeah, that's gonna be it. I hope this has been helpful. It's been video's a little bit longer than I would have liked it to be, but you know, it is what it is. I wanted to make sure that I covered everything, so then you have all of the information. But anyway, if this has been helpful, don't forget to like, leave me a comment, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care, have a beautiful day. See you soon. Peace.